Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well. In today's video, we're going to be doing a very simple yet elegant holiday glam look. It has a little bit of sparkle and a little pop of color. So let's jump right into it. Okay, you guys, let me know in the comments how your Thanksgiving was. I hope everybody had a great holiday. So let me know. I had a wonderful holiday, so I hope y'all did too. So I'm going to be starting off with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I'm going to be putting some of this underneath my foundation, and I like to just concentrate this on the areas where I have a good amount of dark spots and hyperpigmentation and all that. And I'm going to put just a little bit under my eye and on the corners of my mouth. I am going to be trying some new brushes today. So these are the It brushes for Ulta, the limited edition ones. These are the ones that I showed y'all in my birthday haul. So I'm just going to be trying them out today because I haven't used them yet. So I'm just going to be blending this out. And this isn't going to like fully cover up the dark spots. It's just gonna kind of like even out my skin tone before I go in with my foundation. So this brush is okay for concealer, but I know it's not gonna be my favorite compared to the one that I'm currently using, which is the Rare Beauty foundation brush. This is what I normally use to blend out my concealer. I know I'm gonna like this one better just because they're shaped a little differently, but you know, this It brush is okay, but not going to be one that I'm going to be using, you know, all the time. So moving on to my foundation, I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty foundation in the shade 440C. So for this particular one, I like to shake it up, and you can hear the little shaker in the bottle. I like to give it a nice good shake, and then I like to let it sit for a couple of seconds before I open it, and then I like to open it up really slowly. I have seen this foundation kind of burst on people, so I like to shake it, then let it sit for just a couple seconds, and then make sure that I'm opening it very slowly. And then I'm gonna start off with just 2 swipes on each side of the face because I do have that concealer underneath, so that gave me a little more coverage. And I'm gonna be using the It foundation brush for this. And I told you guys in my last video, when I put my concealer on first, to me it just makes my foundation come out a lot cleaner and just a lot more even looking, which is why I've been doing that lately. So this foundation brush I do like. I feel like I will be picking this up from time to time. So I'm putting some more of the Estee Lauder concealer under my eye just to further cover that area, and a little bit more on the sides of my mouth. I'm gonna let that sit and do my brows off camera, and I'll be right back. I'm going to use my Rare Beauty foundation brush to blend out the second layer of my under eye concealer. I just really like this brush better than that It brushes, this one here. So I'm going to just switch back to this one to blend out the second layer. So when I laid out my products to do this video today, almost all of the products that I'm using are high end, which that really wasn't planned. That's just like how it happened. But of course, a lot of the stuff, well, pretty much anything that I'm using today, you can always substitute it for something from the drugstore or something more affordable. It's just that the stuff that I just happened to pick today is all high end, except for except for 2 products that you'll see in a little bit. But I'm gonna try to be more conscious of like doing a mix of like drugstore and high end stuff going forward. I just didn't realize that until, you know, after I started doing my makeup for today. And this is one of the drugstore products. This is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. I'm using the shade Honey Beige. So Honey Beige is like almost like a pinkish tone, beigeish powder. It does look like it might be a little orangey too, but to me it looks a bit more pink than it does orange. So I'm just gonna pick this up with a damp sponge, and I'm gonna set everywhere where I just put the concealer. And I'm setting the rest of my face with the Sephora Microsmooth Baked Powder Foundation, and I'm using the shade Tan. So I'm picking this up on another damp sponge, and I'm just gonna press that into the skin anywhere where I didn't put that first powder. And in some areas, the powders may slightly overlap, but you know, that's fine. So before I put primer on my eyes and we move on to eyeshadow, I'm going to take a little bit more of my Estee Lauder concealer and I'm just going to place a little bit of it kind of right in this area on my eyes. I told you guys in my last video that this is something that I've been changing to my makeup routine lately because I have like these annoying shadows right here on both of my eyes, but mainly this one. So I'm just going to be putting a little bit of this concealer here. Let me see if I can switch to this brush, and I'm just trying to camouflage that little shadow right there. But of course, if you don't have that issue on your eyes, then you can just skip this step. I'm going to prime my lids with my MAC paint pot. This is in the shade Painterly. This is what I use most times when I'm doing my eyeshadow. So my eyeshadow is almost done on this eye. I just have to finish up with mascara and eyeliner, but I decided to do the application on this eye first. So today we're going to be using the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and this is what the palette looks like. So I'm starting off with this shade here, and these shades, they don't have names, they have more like instructions for the names. So this shade here, this one is described as a smoke shade, meaning one of the ones that you can smoke out the whole look. So I'm going to be applying this one on the outer part of my lower lash line, so right in this area. And I'm not really blending out the colors just yet. I'm just applying them where I want them to be. Then I'm taking this shade here. This is one of the crease shades, but I'm going to be using that as my main lid color for today. So I'm just patting this on most of the lid area. I'm just going to do a quick blend right here. I didn't pick up any eyeshadow, but I'm just blending right at the top of those two colors very slightly. And I'm taking this shade here, the dark matte one, I'm putting that on my lower lash line as well, just on the outer part of it. And then right here in the corner, I'm just dragging the color down a little bit just to fill in that space right here. Next, I'm going in with this shade. This is one of the blend shades. I'm going to use that one to kind of buff everything out. First, I'm going to just pat it right in this space here just to cover up that empty space. And then also use it to buff everything out. So I'm just basically blending this around the dark brown shade and underneath the lower lash line. I'm taking another blending brush, and the dark brown shade that we put right here, I'm picking up some more of that on my blending brush, and then I'm just going to kind of blend right on top of the color, and I'm just making it blend into the colors on either side of this one. Okay, next I'm going in with another fluffy brush, but I just want to show y'all in comparison to the other two that I just used. So these two over here are the ones that I was using to blend out the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with this one here, and I hope y'all can see that this one over here is a lot more loose compared to the other two. I want a brush that is more loose for this next step. I'm going to be going in with this shade here. This one is called Center Eyelid. And what I'm going to do is pick up some of the shadow on the very tip of the brush. I am like really digging it in there. And then I'm just going to plop it on top of most of the lid. I just want this shimmery shade to look nice and like dispersed on the lid, which is why I chose a brush that was relatively loose for this step. And next I'm picking up some more of the same eyeshadow, but this time I'm using a very dense brush, and I'm going to concentrate this on my inner corner. So it's the same color, but as you can see, it's just a lot more concentrated in the inner corner, and then it's a lot more dispersed on my lid. I'm going to take what's left on that fluffy brush and then just run it like right on the arch of my brow. Okay, so we'll finish up the eyes in a little bit, but let's move on to the face. So for my blush, I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Kit in Radiant. And this comes with 4 different blush colors, but I'm going to be using this one down here. And I'm just going to place this like right behind the apples of my cheeks. And for bronzer, I'm using the same one that I always use. I'm sorry for always using this same product, but I just really like it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, and this one is in the shade 3 Tan. So that's what this looks like here. So on my cheeks, I'm going to apply this like starting at the hairline and then just apply it right to where the blush is starting. And I am applying my blush kind of like slightly above, or the bronzer rather, I'm applying it like slightly above where I put the blush. So like the blush is kind of here and then the bronzer is up just a little bit, but they're basically like kind of just blending into one another. But I do try to place my bronzer just slightly above the blush, and then just putting some on my forehead and then just a little bit along the jawline, and then just using a smaller brush just to get my nose. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just lightly pat over that bronzer on the nose just to soften it back out. So lately I have been loving a liquid highlighter, but I want something that's just a little more sparkly, a little more glowy for today. So I'm going to use my MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Double Gleam. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the high points of my cheek. I feel like I'm putting on maybe a little more than I have been lately because like I said, I do want a nice little sparkle and glow with this look, but I don't want it to be like, you know, too much highlighter. And I haven't done this in a very long time, but I feel like I'm also going to put some just down the center of my nose. I haven't put highlighter on my nose in like forever. I'm going to set everything with my Fenty Beauty Makeup Refreshing Spray. I'm really just trying to use this up because you see how much I have left. So I'm just trying to finish off the bottle here. Okay, I finished my eyes off camera. I used the Rare Beauty eyeliner and the Essence Lash Princess. This is the False Lash Effect mascara. So I did those off camera. So let's finish everything off with the lips. So I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty Lip Souffle Matte. I think this is called the Matte Cream Lipstick. This one is in the shade Strenghten. So I bought this because I thought this was going to be like a really nice deep like wine, like almost purplish shade. But I think this is a bit more red than it looks in the container. It's not like a bright red, but it's definitely more red than this, but I think it'll work for today. So I'm going to start off with this. This is what 2 coats of the lipstick looks like, and then I let it sit for just a couple seconds just to set. But to me it does set pretty much right away, but I just let it sit for a couple seconds. And then I'm going to go on top of it with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Diamond Milk. And I'm just going to put some of this on my finger and then apply it this way just so that I won't get this part of it dirty. Should have put on a lip liner first because when I put the lip gloss on top, that did make the lipstick more wet, obviously. So it moved around a little bit, so it ended up being a bit more difficult to apply, but I got it together and this is the finished look. So let me know what y'all think. If y'all enjoyed the video today, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe before you head out today, and I hope to see y'all back here for my next video. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.